Tervetuloa Aalto-yliopiston ylioppilaskunnan edustajiston kokoontumiseen 11/2024. Nyt on torstai 12. joulukuuta 2024. Kello on 17:19 ja avaan kokouksen. Ensin pikaisia työjärjestysasioita. I'll swap to English now. It appears that we unfortunately do not have translation at this meeting, so I'm asking that everyone that is presenting today will do so within possibility in English. And I will strive to also, beyond the practicalities of the meeting that I will be announcing in each meeting point, I will strive to also give context in English. With those mentions, let's proceed with the meeting. Suljetaan kohta 1, siirrytään kohtaan 2. Esteellisyyksien, vaalikelpoisuuden menetysten, eroamisten ja läsnä olevien varajäsenten toteaminen. In the beginning of the meeting, we shall observe who is present. The accounting will be proceeded by AYYE's Executive Director, Antti Ilmavirta. Please announce your name loudly and clearly once it's your turn. Antti, go ahead.
Thank you. And yes, sorry about the translators thing. We are looking if we can still do something about it, but if not, like Sakari said. So, Aallon kokoomus Vanhanen oli myöhässä, late, right. Tiihonen, Sundqvist, Rimpioja, Naatula, Ikävalko, myös Lund paikalla, kiitos. Lasketaanpas. Joo, eli kaikille riittää ääniä myös Vanhaselle sen jälkeen, kun hän saapuu laskelmieni mukaan. Kem oli ilmoitettu RAE, ja oli täällä muutkin nyt, hienoa. Eli RAE, Vuorela, Saastamoinen, Kivivuori. Yes, and RAE is using paikka from, the place from Konergia. Kylterirengas, no names in the list. Who would be present from Kylterirengas? Kiitos. Yksi kerrallaan, eli Palmqvist, Kasper. Sitten Aho. Sitten Von Plato. Sitten Niemi-Toni. Sitten Plinikka myös. Kiitos, thank you. Konergia, no one present, but one place given to Kem. Luova, Pyykkönen. Ahola, Jäntti. Kolehmainen. Kiitos. ProArte Chen. Jordi Lassenius. Tak. Nikula. Shiel. Thanks. Taushan. Thank you. Skisma. Brax. Myöhässä Virtanen. Kiitos. Hiekkamies. Kiitos. Rautiainen. Kiitos. Vapaasti vasemmalla Hintsala. Kiitos Erdem. Kiitos Kallinen. Kiitos. Virreämpi Aalto, Kolho. Kiitos Valkama. Härkönen, Hiipakka. Kiitos. Sitten Järvinen. Vandermeer. Kiitos. Välillä. Kiitos. Vooga ei valitettavasti tänään edustajia. Ja, anyone whose name was not said? No, okay, 36 present, which is enough.
Thank you, Antti. Just a moment. Todetaan, että paikalla on 36 edustajisten jäsentä todettu. Lisäksi annetaan puheoikeus kaikille AY:n työntekijöille, OPSin henkilöstölle ja tulkeille. Automaattisesti puheen ja läsnäolo-oikeus on talousjohtajalla, toiminnanjohtajalla, hallituksella ja talousjohtokunnalla. Läsnäoloon ovat oikeutettuja kaikki yläpuskunnan jäsenet. Onko paikalla muita, jotka haluaisivat puhua tai läsnäoloon oikeuden? Are there others present that would like to have the right to speech and being present? Tulkitsen hiljaisuutta, että ei ole. Päätään kohdan 2 käsittely, siirrytään kohtaan 3. Kokouksen laillisuuden sekä kokouksen päätösvaltaisuuden toteaminen. Yläpuskunnan sääntöjen mukaan kokous on päätösvaltainen, jos paikalla on vähintään 25 edustajien jäsentä ja edustuston puheenjohtaja tai varapuheenjohtaja, ja kokouskutsu esitysliitteineen on lähetetty vähintään 7 päivää ennen kokousta ja ilmoitettu yläpuskunnan viralliselle ilmoitustaululle. Paikalla on vähintään 25 edustuston jäsentä ja puheenjohtajaa, ja kokouskutsu on lähetetty 7 päivää ennen edustajiston sähköpostilistalle ja viralliselle ilmoitustaululle yläpuskunnan internet-sivuille. Nämä ehdot täyttyvät, todetaan kokous lailliseksi ja päätösvaltaiseksi. Suljetaan kohta 3, siirrytään kohtaan 4. Kahden pöytäkirjatarkastajan valinta ja 2 ääntenlaskijan kutsuminen. We'll be choosing 2 verifiers of the minutes of the meeting and vice members for them, as well as 2 vote counters and vice members for them. In this, I suggest that we proceed as before, and Antti has raffled 2 members for each of these roles.
Yes, the lucky winners this time will be for the examiner of the minutes, eli pöytäkirjan tarkastajiksi Rimpioja ja Ahola, and for the vote counting, eli ääntenlaskijoiksi Nikula ja Kallinen. Is this fine? Most excellent, thank you.
All right, päätän aiheesta keskustelun. Valitaan pöytäkirjatarkastajaksi Rimpio ja Ahola ja varahenkilöiksi Nikula ja Kallinen. Valitaan ääntenlaskijoiksi Nikula ja Kallinen ja heidän varahenkilöiksi Rimpiola ja Ahola. Päättäneen päätetty. Suljetaan kohta 4, siirrytään kohtaan 5. Kokouksen työjärjestyksen vahvistaminen. Esityslista on toimitettu kokouskutsun yhteydessä. Onko siihen lisättävää? The agenda has been delivered to you. Do you have anything to add to it? Antti?
Yes, one more very small thing. We would have to confirm the auditing form for the next year, eli tilintarkastusyhteisön valinta. If it's fine for you, we will add it to the last point. It will take roughly 30 seconds.
This was informed to the REPCO group chairs earlier this week, and hopefully that's fine by everybody. If there's no objections, I am going to take it that everyone is for this. Let's add this to the agenda. Additionally, meeting points 11, 18, and 19, I suggest that I propose that due to the time constraints of the person presenting them, being Fanny Mattsson, we handle them all consecutively at meeting agenda point 11. Is this okay by everybody? All right, päättäneen päättyy. Hyväksytään esityslista edellä mainituin muutoksin kokouksen työjärjestykseksi. Suljetaan kohta 5 ja siirrytään kohtaan 6, ilmoitusasiat. Seuraavaksi avaan aiheesta keskustelun. Onko ilmoitusasioita? Tiihonen.
Okay, so the new group chair for Aallon Kokoomus is going to be Mikael Sundqvist and the new vice chair Juho Tiihonen. Thank you.
Thank you, Juho. Kem?
Yes, hello. Our new group chair is Anna Savola.
Vice chair remains the same. Vihreämpi Aalto.
Vihreämpi Aaltos new chair is yours truly, Leevi Härkönen, and vice chair is Alli Kolho.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Antti.
Thank you. I have 2 announcements to make. First, warm greetings from the still mayor of Espoo, Jukka Mäkelä. I was just visiting his retirement party before coming here, and we gave our gift on behalf of the AYYE, and when hearing that we still had the representative council meeting today, he wanted for me to forward greetings and warm feelings for all of you from Maxi. And so Brax is here. And then board member Joona Lipponen sadly cannot be here among us today, but his spirit is with us today, and I shall now conjure the will of his spirit. I'll read in Finnish first and then summarize in English. Huomenna julkaistaan AY-nettisivuilla julkaisu, jonka tarkoitus on ohjeistaa ja auttaa kimppakämpässä asuvia saamaan erilliset asumistuet. Tällä on tarkoitus ratkaista ongelma, jonka osa asukkaista on kohdannut, kun kimppakämpässä huomioidaan yhteenlasketut tulot. Enemmän viestintää on tulossa ensi viikolla ja tammikuussa ohjeistusta vielä täydennetään mahdollisesti. Vaikutusta tällä tosin on vain elokuuhun saakka, jonka jälkeen opiskelijat saavat taas omat tuet vakiona. Jos tunnette ja tiedätte kimppakämpässä asuvia, tietoa voi levittää. Joonalle voi laittaa asioista viestiä tarvittaessa, jos herää kysymyksiä, TM. So, short summary in English. For those living with their friend in the same apartment and who has problems with Kela in getting their money from them because they consider you to be in a relationship, there will be instructions in how to talk with Kela to make sure that you get different income for both of you. Yep, that's it.
Thank you, Antti. Moving on, is there anything else for announcements? I judge that there are none left, so I shall close this discussion on this point. Suljetaan kohta 6, siirrytään kohtaan 7. Toimiston kuulumiset. Hallituksen edustaja Kahilainen toimittaa meille toimiston kuulumisia. Antti, may we have the slides? Veeti, ole hyvä.
Thank you, Chair. So let's practice my English yapping skills here. What's happened in the office? We have a long meeting ahead of us, so I will try to keep this short. But as always, there will be time for questions after this presentation. So in the community, the volunteer recruitments are ongoing, and there's also a questionnaire for this year's volunteers to improve our ways of working in the volunteering side. We have accepted a new association to the register. It's SOIF. How was it said, Antti? Do you? SOIF. SUAF. And it was meaning of that was Jano, if I recall, Janoinen. so thirsty. Friends Club. Then we have 3 new subject clubs: IDBM Klubi, Games Club, and Film Students Klaffi. These first 2 are like multidisciplinary, and then Klaffi is, well, obviously film students. Good. Member services, pre-booking rounds for next springs are over. The last Tilakähämy session was actually today. Yeah, the rounds were open, lots of reservations, and I heard that it went quite well. There has been some changes to prices, hours of use, and sauna heating times for rental facilities, which will start in the 1st of January. The goal of these changes is not to make them more expensive or get more money or whatever. The point is to make every facility follow the same rules. So basically, we try to handle them the same way, so that the time starts at the same time, they end at the same time, they cost the same in categories, of course, and this will make it easier for the users to remember what time to use them and how to manage them. Then some good renovation news. Okay, 20 sauna and shower rooms will be renovated in January, February. They are quite nasty at the moment if you have been there, but they will be shiny and new after February, and they will be out of use during that time. Autumn exchange scholarships have been granted from our rahastos, the funds, yes. Okay, advocacy. First of all, congratulations, Mante, for being elected as the member of SYL board. I don't know if this was already in the last meeting, but more congratulations to you. And also to Nette for being chosen to the board of OLL. Haloped elections are progressing, still some empty spots there, so if you're available, please do use your right to affect the school's decision making. Municipal regional election goals have been made, they are ready. Thank you, Wilma and the advocacy team. Equality plan has been approved, update on the safer space principles has been approved, training for harassment contact persons, I think the translations are a bit off, but harassment contact persons is ongoing, and then we have also accepted the new ecological sustainability principles. Yes, quite a lot. Then administration and IT, AYYE is planning the possible renovation of the central office in cooperation with Pearco. More on this later, but as you might have heard, the student center project has fallen, and now we are looking into new options, and at the moment our office is not quite filling the needs that we have. Personal changes, Veera Kivivirta, the new CFO, talousjohtaja, will start on 20th of January next year, so looking forward to that. I think Veera is a great choice for this. Aid specialist, so I think this is the fund specialist, Pekka Pirkola, Pege, is still continuing to leave, whatever, and Matias Saikku will continue as his deputy in the spring. And producer Tero returns from leave in January. And Johanna has been replacing Tero, and this time will come to an end, and we will all wish Johanna a great time ahead. Also, a good tip, if you have any friends who have not filled their kansalaisvelvollisuus, this civic duty, yes, thank you, Levi. There's a new position as a non-military service person for administrative tasks, so Sivari paikka AYY:llä. If you have any friends or are looking for a Sivari position, this is a great opportunity. I think being a Sivari at AYYE is super great. Yes, housing real estate. Housing team was in Lappeenranta in SOA days, so Suomen opiskelija-asunto, Finnish student apartment days for a couple of days. Yes, hopefully they get something good out of that. Then office will be closed during the Christmas period from 23rd until the 1st of January. Annual residence meetings have been held in the beginning of the month, and the apartments in Turkismiehentie ja Turkkari are currently offered to exchange students. And maybe a quick note on this, also the OK15 is all the time moving forward, which is great. Communications. Remember what I just said and apply it to this slide. Communications has done quite a lot to communicate this to our members. Volunteer communications, Independence Day, Torchlight procession communications. Hallopeds got the payment from the university, and this is also being communicated. Then equity plan, association regulation, and the principles of environmental sustainability are on the table to be communicated. Yeah. Harry things, stakeholder meetings, lots of event photos added to Flickr. So just a reminder, AYY's photos are found on Flickr, so if you want to see or use them, then you can find them there. Finalizing the year's projects and planning next year, as usual in December. Then the board. We have been up to no good. We have done this and that. Testament workshop, working on testaments to make sure the handover is smooth. Apartment crawl, fun stuff. Half of us have moved this year, so new apartments, yay. Then this big Christmas party event that we went to with KY Tokyo TF boards, new and old boards, quite a good networking and cooperation chance. Independence Day and Sylglögit. And yeah, wrapping up the year. This is our last Repco meeting on this side of the table, so wishing you all a great next year in Repco, and yeah, happy holidays. Still, before the holidays, we have also worked on some stuff. I won't go through all of these. These slides are found on the folder on the website or the inside. Some decisions and some more to come still. Kiitos. Questions?
I'll open discussion on the topic. First from Kylerrengas, back there.
Erdem Vapas Vasamala. I have one question regarding the student center. Are you going to, from the perspective of the board, is it more plausible to renovate the current student and AYY center, or are you handing this topic to the next board?
That's a great question that we are looking into, and there's a whole meeting spot, kokouskohta. Help me out, guys. Topic in this meeting on this subject. Well, we can discuss more, but yeah, we are looking into what's the best way to move forward with the renovation.
Any other questions? I observe that there are no further questions, so thank you, Veeti. I'll close discussion on the topic. I propose that we motion that the Repco approves the members. It approves to note the latest news from the office. Apologies. Päättäneen päätetty. Suljetaan kohta 7, siirrytään kohtaan 8. Member initiative for the academic boycott of Israel. A member initiative was delivered to the Student Union's executive director on the 3rd of November, and in accordance with the section 39 of our constitution, we have taken it under deliberation. This was discussed last time in the previous Repco, and according to the member initiative, AYYE should commit to and promote the academic boycott of Israel, and should publicly express its support for 2 Palestinian-led boycott movements, the Palestinian Campaign for the Academic and Cultural Boycott of Israel, PACB, and in the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions BDS. Both movements aim to pressure Israel to comply with international law. In addition, the member initiative urges the student union to publicly demand Aalto University commit to the academic boycott and terminate its relations with Israeli educational institutions that are involved in maintaining Israel's apartheid system. In the previous preliminary debate, the REPCO didn't come to a decision, and this is the last opportunity, unless we have an extra meeting before the 3rd of January, for us to come to a decision on this. Before we get started, and I open discussion on the matter, each group has been asked to limit any prepared speeches to 200 words. I hope that that is the case. We will also have an open discussion after these prepared statements, but we'll try to keep this compact as there's been plenty of time for discussion on the topic. And then after that, we will be having a closed vote on this with ticket voting. Unfortunately, Voga wasn't able to have any representatives present here, so I will shortly read out their statement on the topic, and then I will move on to giving a floor to every other group. This is directly quoting from Voga's sent statement. Voga supports the members' initiative for an academic boycott against Israel. We believe that this is the morally right choice, and by voting in favor of the members' initiative, we want to show the decision makers and the university that they should react more strongly than they have done so far. However, we do not believe that individual foreign policy issues are usually the responsibility of the REPCO, because a global problem can be extremely urgent and at the same time a great injustice. But it is still not appropriate for the REPCO, especially because a conflict happens to be topical at the time. We do, however, want to show our support for human rights and to highlight the voice of students, which has been clear and strong since the beginning of the conflict. Next, I will open discussion on the matter. Is there some group that would now like to present a prepared statement? Vapaasti vasemmalla. And feel free to do this in Finnish if you have not prepared it in English.
I can do it in English. Hintsala, vapaasti vasemmalla. Yeah, we just wanted to share some of our group's thoughts. Once more, I'm sure so a lot of these arguments have already been shared before, but yeah. Maybe about the arguments against AYYE declaring support for the boycott movements. We've understood that a lot of the arguments against have had to do with the belief that international politics or politics in general don't belong to AYYE. And there we would like to refer to the Universities Act, Sections 2 and 46, and to the AYYE Policy Paper 2023. These are also referred to in the petition itself. The Section 46 of the Universities Act lays out the mission of the student union to promote the societal, social and intellectual aspirations of its members. Furthermore, a student union participates in the implementation of the educational mission of the university, which is to organize its educational and research activities in service to humanity. Universities and student unions are therefore firmly connected to whatever is happening in the society. And the 2023 AYYE policy paper includes a commitment to building a more humane and healthier society, as well as an encouragement for its members to make changes in society. Now, this clearly states that AYYE is committed to being an active societal institution. We've also heard an argument suggesting that any demands or declarations of support wouldn't make a difference. To this, we'd like to say that we're not alone. This movement is international and in Finland nationwide. And if you'd like to hear a Nordic example of universities joining the movement, 5 Norwegian universities have already cut ties with Israeli universities. And in Finland, both the student union at University of Helsinki and University of the Arts, and then recently SUL. Lastly, we'd like to ground everyone a little, us, and sort of go back to what we are actually talking about. We're in a situation where Israel is accused of genocide in the International Court of Justice. Since October 7th, 2023, Israel has killed over 40,000 Palestinians in besieged Gaza. In addition to this being a genocide, it's also a scholasticide. Every Gazan university has been destroyed. In last April, after 6 months of military assault, more than 5,479 students, 261 teachers, and 95 university professors have been killed, according to the UN. Talking about numbers can be powerful, but it can also trick us. Each of those numbers is a human being. Aalto Students for Palestine organized a sit-in calling for the academic boycott at the Värem main lobby 2 weeks ago. And one of the speakers there was a Gazan professor, Dr. Ata Darwish, whose university had been destroyed amongst all the other Gazan universities. He was speaking to us, telling us how there's nothing left. He himself has lost 4 family members, one of them being his own child. And this man asks for us to act and boycott Israel. He tells us, and this we already know, Israel wouldn't be able to commit these crimes if it weren't for the international support from our university. And we encourage you to really think about what you'd answer to this man when he asks for you to act. And a simple thing we can do right now is to vote in favor or be in favor of AYYE declaring its support for the academic boycott and publicly calling for Aalto University to commit to the academic boycott on its part. Thank you.
Thank you, vapaasti vasemmalla. Is there any other group that would like to have a chance at a statement? Skisma.
Yes, Prague Schisma. I'll keep this one quite short. Schisma as a group supports the academic boycott because we see it as the morally correct choice in this question. However, I would like to raise into kind of meta discussion the discussing politics in the representative council, because this was a topic that was raised up in last meeting quite heavily, in fact. And it is true that it's not it is like not our favorite thing to discuss heavy political questions in the student union, and there are valid arguments for staying out of this kind of global topics. But this kind of case, when another institution, in this case the university, has not taken any stance and the kind of responsibility has fallen onto us, it is kind of our duty then to do that, and we can't quite get around that. But it's not fun. It's sad that it is our duty to take to discuss this, because the kind of correct people have not taken a stance, especially in this kind of questions where not taking a stance is seen as a stance itself. We are put kind of what's it in English, but between the tree and the bark in Finnish. And this is a very kind of this topic can very quickly turn into very polarizing discussion, and I would very much like to advise to be careful when discussing these kind of polarizing topics, because we have seen also on the global political scale what overly polarized political topics can do, because that's what we these days see quite often, even in maybe some governments of quite large countries. So I would like to conclude that since we are thrust into discussing this topic, let's discuss it as civilized people between amongst ourselves. Let's not make this a thing that tears the student union and representative council apart. because we are all civilized and adult people, so we can discuss the topics like without going at each other like animals. And let's also take precautions to avoid creating these kind of us versus them kind of positions in the representative council, and avoid kind of digging these deep ravines between different groups, because after all we are civilized enough to discuss questions without that. And as a kind of precaution, I would like to raise the 1970s, when the former student union of the Helsinki University of Technology was it became hyper politicized. We talked about these years with the name The Years of Madness. You can read more about them in this book right here. So let us avoid into falling new years of madness. And I'd conclude by citing the mayor of Helsinki, who in his Independence Day speech on Senaattori said that in a free country we are able to be against each other without being each other's enemies. Thank you.
Thank you, Brax. Rengas.
Blinnika Rengas. Still undecided which direction I will vote. There are some very compelling arguments, thank you, especially on the societal aspect of universities, which was mentioned before. But I would like to point out also that as a university, we should be focused on research, technology, and those kinds of things. And what happens in another university doesn't necessarily reflect the opinions of the professors and the students which are also studying there. If a government is deciding to engage in some sort of war and the university unfortunately gets sucked into that, I don't think that cutting support for the university as its own institution is necessarily correct. And it also kind of comes to the question of, well, what do we research, what don't we research? And I understand this is a little bit of an exceptional situation, but I still feel that it opens a bit of a Pandora's box, because there is many horrible things going on around the world, and this is a popular topic at the moment, but I still don't feel that it's necessarily worse than some things going on in other countries where we do support the universities there. For example, we do cooperation with US universities, Australian universities, UK universities, who all cooperate with Israeli universities as well. And also they provide weapons, money, technology, all kinds of things. So yeah, that's the crossroads I'm on. Thank you.
Thank you, Blinnika. Vihreämpi Aalto.
Härkönen, Vihreämpi Aalto. Thank you for the speech. I'd like to respond to this by saying I agree that also other universities do, or well, take part indirectly in some other horrible things that their home countries or nations are involved in. I don't necessarily think we alone could do anything about that, nor do I think that we alone can do anything about whatever Israeli universities are doing that are helping genocide in Palestine. However, I'd like to point out that this is a global movement. It's not just us, but many other universities are also taking part in this, and we alone can't do enough, but enough universities can make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there still a group that would like to? We already have had 1 point from Kulttuurirengas, so I'm gonna give a moment for some other group. Aallon Kokoomus now first.
And the Tiihonen Aallon Kokoomus. I would like to summarize our group thoughts with 2 key points. First, I think that the representative council should illustrate in some way the members' opinions. And now one minority has came up with this member initiative, but I know that there are many members of AYYE who are not supporting this academic boycott and who are not supporting the main message of this member initiative. But the second point, if someone do not support this member initiative, it doesn't mean that this one or this person would support or accept genocide or war in Israel, between Israel and Gaza, and those horrible things made by Israeli government. That's, at least in my opinion, and my group's opinion, very important to remember, and that we would like to highlight that. Thank you.
Let's take here first.
Jordi Lasenius, ProArte. So first of all, I want to thank everyone for this. The way we have handled the topic so far in REPCO, I really like what I've heard from every electoral group so far, and I just wanted to echo some of the sentiments that have already been shared regarding the fact that this is an exceptional moment. We feel that way, and obviously there should be discussions about how the student union should itself portray itself regarding international conflicts. But we are the democratic institution of AYYE that's here to decide what our opinions are regarding this case. And we find that this is an exceptional case where it shouldn't be a responsibility, but it has become a responsibility to do something. Not to show that we are for genocide, but to see ways we can help against or mediate something. And so the member from Vihreät mentioned, we can't ourselves do anything, but we can be a small cog of a bigger initiative to help out. I looked into alternative cases of things that could be done, but unfortunately, this is such a severe case that there's very little that can be done except confronting the academic institutions in this kind of way. So that is why I'm supporting the initiative. Thank you.
Did Representative Erdem still have something to say?
Erdem Vapasti, I just want to very briefly remind that the university has taken very strong position regarding the war in Ukraine. In this case, I think we cannot say that university can stay completely out of the politics, and that would be a moral dilemma to disregard the events occurring in Palestine regarding the magnitude of this evilness. And I would encourage everyone to vote by our moral compass, which is our code of conduct and our policy papers, which is the base of our institution that promotes research and prosperity for Finland. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll still give an opportunity for groups that still haven't spoken to speak, and then final points from groups that have already had a chance. Cam.
Eskuraev Kem, and I will be making this as a personal statement. I was just want to say that if we do support this, I'm just thinking where do we draw the line, that which are the amendments we do support and which are the ones we don't. For example, China is still occupying Tibet and has done so since the 1950s, and yet we are working alongside with the Chinese universities. Is this perhaps a thing that we should and will take the should also be taking some sort of stance? And if we shouldn't, then why is that, and where is the line? Thank you.
Thank you. Klinikka.
If it was for certain that this would be a very easy vote, but I think there is some more information that perhaps some other groups would wish to have, and some considerations on exactly what we are advocating for and maybe where a line is drawn. So I would like to ask if the matter could be tabled, and if there would be a kannatus vote for that.
Is there support for tabling the matter? Do you have another representative that's supporting tabling it with you now? Antti. We do need to come to a decision by next year's January.
Just technical point of view, technically, yes, this can be tabled as far as I see it. However, then we would knowingly break the rules in that we should answer within 2 months of this member initiative being given to us. So technically we can table this, but with the consequences of not being able to answer within 2 months, just to make sure.
Skisma, is this a response to,
Brax Skisma. I'd also like to point out that between the last meeting and this, we have had, at least to my opinion, ample time to think about this, and I don't see the benefit of tabling it further, because I trust and hope that this time has been enough for the groups to discuss it amongst themselves enough.
I observe that there are not any, as far as I can tell. If there are still some relevant new points, I'll take those discussion points, and then I motion that we move on to voting. But I'll take first ProArte, Virhempe Aalto, Vapaasti Vasemmalla, and Aallon Kokoomus, and Skisma. Please keep these short. And hopefully, if something that you are going to say is being already said in a previous note, then just raise the blue ticket if you support that.
I'll be swift. Yeah. So Jordi Lasenius, ProArte. Just talking about this line, because I understand that it's a very broad topic and difficult, and sometimes it can be hard to know where exactly we're drawing the line. But I'll just mention this thing about alternative ways of helping people in these situations who need it. And that's kind of where I'm putting the line, is that unlike some other international conflicts where you could create opportunities for the victims or people that are suffering during these conditions that are members of our academic community, this is an international conflict where that is almost impossible. And it is something that our group looked into when we were trying to come up with maybe an alternative initiative. But then we came to the conclusion that that was not possible in this case. So regarding some of the other aforementioned conflicts, this was something I wanted to highlight. Thank you.
Thank you. Virhempe Aalto.
Vastauksena I'll keep this short. So the answer to your question, where we draw the line, the point of REPCO is to kind of decide that what's the line where we answer to something and when to not to answer something. So if we want to discuss Tibet, we could for sure discuss this year, if you want so.
Vapaasti vasemmalla.
Hintsala, yeah, I just wanted to do the drawing the line. I think we have to remember that this was a member initiative. 300 people signed it, and if the members think that this is of importance, then it is something to discuss. And if something else comes up in the future and they think that it is important to discuss, then we discuss it. And if this taking a stance in these subjects is something, then we have to deal with it.
Thank you. Does Skisma still want to add to this? Did Skisma still want to add to this? Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, perhaps Skisma, a general comment. At least it was raised here recently that in the student union we have different people who support different ideas and who don't support different ideas. And I see that as we are here, the representatives democratically elected to represent our student union, I think this is the kind of form of democracy that we have, and in an ideal world, I think the different ideas of the student union members are represented here in the representative council. In this kind, when we vote among things, the situation should be ideally representative of the whole student union, and in this way, pure democracy. So yes, quite neat, I think.
Thank you, Brax. And finally, Kokoomus, after which I motion that we move on to voting.
Ikävalko, Kokoomus. I just want to point out that some concerns about how this might affect the relationship between the student union and the university if we start to pressure the university to take part in this boycott.
Thank you. We currently do not have any alternative version for the motion on the agenda. So what's on the agenda currently, that's all of you should have received with the invitation to the meeting. That is what we are voting on, and there are 2 points that we are voting on. Regarding those practicalities, maybe Antti would like to explain them further. So to further expand, the things that we are voting on is that 1, the Representative Council approves the member initiative's demand to commit the student union to supporting PACB and BDS movements, and 2, the Representative Council approves the member initiative's demand for the student union to publicly urge Aalto University to commit to the academic boycott and terminate its relations with Israeli educational institutions. So those are the 2 matters that are under vote now.
So, on the technicalities of the voting, there was 2 points, like Sakke said, which are present in the lower side of the slide. Edustajat päätti hyväksyä jäsenaloitteen vaatimuksen sitouttaa ylioppilaskunta tukemaan PACB ja BDS tukemaan näitä liikkeitä. Edustajista päätti hyväksyä jäsenaloitteen vaatimuksen ylioppilaskunnalle julkisesti vaatia Aalto-yliopiston sitoutumista akateemiseen boikottiin ja katkoa suhteet israelilaisiin koulutusyhteisöihin. And samma på engelska siinä alempana. So, is it clear what these points mean and what we are voting? We talked with Sakke and we think that the correct options for voting would be yes, I support this, or no, I don't support this. And whether we get more yes or no's, according to that, we shall, in either of these 2 points, either accept them or not. Is it clear from which we are voting? Then how we are going to vote? I suggest that we can do this with only one piece of paper. If you can manage such a difficult task of drawing a vertical line in the middle of the paper and on the left side of the line putting your opinion on this left side of the slide, do you support the PACPI and PDS movements part, and on the right side of the line putting what's on the right side of the slide, whether we should cut the ties. It is clear enough. So it seems that it was not clear enough.
I would perhaps say that this was a joke by the representative, and I think everyone can tell left from right.
So this is now your voting paper. In the middle, draw a vertical line, and on the left side, for example, if I would now be voting to support the PACPI and PDS part, but voting no for the academic boycott, I would write yes on this side and no on this side. And if I want to make sure that those counting the votes know which is left, I could, for example, put a small mark that this is the left side. Are we clear with how we are going to vote? Most excellent. Then I would ask those who are not voting to leave the room first. And those vote counters, it was Nikula and someone else, to come here at the front.
Rimpio Palataan kokoukseen ajassa 18.32. Ja onko striimi taas auki? Yes. Antti, ole hyvä.
Kiitoksia, thank you. The vote counters gave me this excellent opportunity to use my voice a little bit more. So in the end up, we had the correct number of votes. One vote was discarded for not following the rules. For the votes that were accepted, the left side, the Pakbi part, received 20 votes for yes and 17 votes for no and 1 vote for empty, so it passes. For the right side, this academic boycott, 22 votes for yes, 16 votes for no, 0 votes for empty, so it passes as well.
By these votes, I motion that the Representative Council approves the members' initiative's demand to commit the Student Union to supporting PACB and BDS movements, and the Representative Council approves the member initiative's demand for the Student Union to publicly urge Aalto University to commit to the academic boycott and terminate its relations with Israeli educational institutions. Closing topic 8, moving on to topic 9. Preliminary discussion on... Just a moment. Preliminary debate on the 2025 Representative Council committees. For this, I asked that the chairs of this year's committees come forward. Unfortunately, Berta wasn't able to make it, but Rimpoja and Vanhanen should be present. As a preface, this is meant to be a discussion to get everybody grounded on what the committees have been doing this year and what is in plans for next year, and prepare the REPCO for next year's first meeting, where we'll be selecting new members for the committees and new chairs. And I think Nette will be starting, and then Vanhanen, and I'll be speaking on behalf of Berta. Or perhaps Saku, if you want to speak on Berta's notes. Or, yeah.
All right, thank you. Yeah, short cap of advocacy committee's work this year. Here you can see again the names who were chosen to be in advocacy committee 2024. I'm happy to share that I believe I saw almost everyone during this year in the meeting, so we were quite active this year, and thanks for the whole group for being so active and discussion in the meetings. Yeah, there was the members. Oh no, now it cracks. We had this year total of 5 meetings, plus this SYL candidate interviews, and luckily we find a good candidate who made up to SYL board. And we organized the meetings on site on AYYE's office, and also there was a chance to attend on Teams. And topics we had this year was SYL guideline update on the spring, then we have equity plan, and last week we had the AYYE's municipal election campaign and themes on the table, and we've been discussing the overall AYYE's advocacy work and those kind of things. And also there was, in the beginning of the autumn, changes in the contact person. Now we have started the collaboration with Sonia, and everything goes well, but there was 2 months of gap without the contact. And next year, you now might be thinking what you would like to do next year. I invite you to come Vaiva and make AYY's municipal election campaign, and also do not forget the welfare area elections. They are equally important. And then we have also the representative council elections coming in autumn. So I just raised a question if like Vaiva could be somehow active and supporting like the office's work to maybe recruit candidates and share the message of the upcoming elections. And also again, next autumn we pick up the next SYL candidate. But above all, this year has been great opportunity to meet people from different REPCO groups, and that has been really nice to get to know of each group's ideas and peoples, and that's been most fruitful from my part of side. But cause I'm next year gonna be on the OLL vice president, so I'm willing to give this chair position to someone else. So if there are interested people who would like to be the chair, just come and I will turn back to maybe. I think I will continue on a basic member, so you will have my support whenever will it be. But I really recommend this committee. It's very comfortable and good group of people, and there you can think about different topics. But if you have any questions, I can answer, and please think about if you could give your time for AYY's advocacy work next year. Should we go?
Let's go through all of them and then
yes.
open the floor for discussion.
All right, good evening also. On my behalf, now about the Finance and Real Estate Committee. Yeah. So here we have the representation from all the groups, members and vice members, and we've been also, maybe unfortunately, we all haven't made it at the same time to the meetings, but there have been many active members, and thanks to those. And also special thanks to Joona and Veeti at the board. You've been also very active and listening our thoughts, and also giving like concise and precise information beforehand, and that's been very useful. So we know precisely what's coming up. It's not just on a general level. So that has been also great to have you besides. And then some topics we've been covering this year, of course the budget for the next year, and it's going to be accepted today. And in the last meeting we had discussion between the groups that what kind of prioritizations should we have, and what is the, or what do we see as the most essential for the AYY to do, and so on. Then in the spring we discussed about the selling of the properties and real estates, and it had this beautiful name. I don't remember it anymore, but as someone of you remembers, the Vieno, exactly, yeah. So project Vieno was discussed quite much. Then also student center, which took some unfortunate ways, but hopefully we will find solutions to it. And then also Otakari, 15 student houses have been discussed, and now the first one is gonna be built. And then also about the future plans of the ghetto, so the central office, what kind of alternatives we have with that. So here's just maybe the most essential ones, but then there's also something else that we've been discussing. So, and in the beginning we had like a overall site, so to the house the financial and real estate things working in AYY, so that was useful for all the members to know that how much do we invest every year, and what kind of investments we have, what kind of real estate. So we had like a or we get the basic information in the beginning of the year. And then things to consider for the next committee. I won't be continuing myself in this, but what I see essential is now when we have the new director for finance and real estate things, I think it's important to have deep conversations and active discussion with the new, so we get a new and good start. Then also developing the budget process for the next year. So as we've been discussing also here, we get information about the budget, but it's quite hard to get like precise information, and it leads to a situation that it's difficult to suggest some sort of changes to the budget, because we only see like we are spending to the personnel this much and to the real estate this much, so we don't have that precise information. Then, as we know, Orpo's government is preparing the automation membership thing, and I think that we might get some sort of information about it. It should have been this year, but maybe next year, and regardless of what everyone thinks about it, I think it's at least wise to cover it some way and discuss and prepare for it, so then we have some ideas what to do if, regardless of the results. Investment strategy, it hasn't been updated for recent years, so it might be a thing to cover more deeply. And then also many other things, as these ones covered also this year, so of course also those. But yeah, that was it, and then Yva and Sakari, I think.
Give it to Saku. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, hello everyone. I have not seen these slides, so let's go. The YVA this year has consisted of these members, and the chair has been Marcel Berta, who's done an amazing job this year. And also big thanks to Saku Turkulainen and Tuulia Telin, and I think also Olli. Olli was part of at some meetings. But yeah, let's rock and roll. Main topic this year was the subject association, maybe point, and we also discussed some parts, this operational grants and how should we give them out, and these kind of income limits, but we didn't really come into new conclusions this year. And also, I think with Olli, they discussed the community structure project. Yes, so I would say there were 3 projects, or 3 topics, but only like 2 things that went through. Yes, so 2025 is going to be a new year, and well, Marcel is in the board, so I don't think he's going to continue in the YVA chair, so somebody else has to take the lead. And these topics are nice. Yeah. Yes, because for example, the resource management, I think that's kind of like the benefits and obligations part of the association regulation that we talked about this year. That sounds nice. Overview the criteria. So the current criteria are the number of members and the portion of how many members are. So currently it's only like the only concrete requirement is that you have 10 AYYE members in your association and that you do something. But for example, the board has this year rejected some applications based on the fact that they do overlapping activities, even though it's not written in the regulation. So in that sense, I think that's good point. Yeah. I think the third bullet would work closely with the association guide, yhdistysopas, since there is this material bank that has some document templates for associations, and that's also a good one to overview. Yeah. Don't ask me any questions. Please take this.
All right, I'll open the floor for discussions. Any questions regarding the committees? Who is interested? Göterengas. Vapaasti osaamaan. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Erdem vapaasti osaamaan. I have one question to advocacy committee. Has there been any collaboration for this our municipality election campaign of AYYE between, like, or what kind of collaboration has been between the committee and the AYYE office?
Did you say office?
Sorry, board. AYYE board.
AYYE board. Yeah, they actually made the proposal for us, and then we discussed, and then we gave our comments, and the board accepted the themes and the AYYE's main topics for the campaign. So we did it together. But the biggest thank you is for the board. They made the biggest job, but we gave them comments. Yeah.
Seems to me like there are no further questions about the committees. Thank you, Vanhanen and Ripioja. I close the discussion now, and feel free to return to your seats. All right, I motion that the representative council records the discussion on the topic. Closing topic 9, moving on to topic 10. AYYE facilities projects. Due to the Student Center project cancellation, AYYE has reviewed its facility needs and explored alternative solutions. Board member Kahilainen provides an update on alternative options and requests comments from the RepCo on priorities for future projects. All right, without further ado, go ahead, Kahilainen.
All right, more yapping time. Facilities, everyone's favorite topic. Let's go quickly because we have a long meeting. Agenda is a status update, then background on the space needs that we have identified, then the current resources, and the options we are moving forward with. No decisions today. Only thing I and we want is discussion and comments, and these are always things that you can also contact AYYE from or between meetings too, like sending an email to a board member or Antti or whoever. Yes, let's go. Status update. Maarintalo was in the talks in the summer. We are not proceeding with that since KY has found its own solutions. And alone, Maarintalo is not that attractive for AYYE. It's kind of too big, and if we go there alone, it's quite far away. So from now on, all these projects will be owned for each party, so the old OPCA parties have parted ways. Regular facility project meetings with Aalto, AYYE, KY, and TF are continuing. They have been very good, good spirits and solution-oriented, so we wish to continue with that good cooperation. Good news about Smökki. Agri has offered a temporary space for Smökki, so that makes a concrete concrete, so to say, deadline for the renovations, which could be planned next year, depending on the PTS long-term plan of the or like the renovation need survey of the building. Yes, speaking of condition surveys, the SMT 8 kindergarten condition survey has been completed. Surprise, surprise, it requires major renovation, but there's some potential for hobby or association spaces. And this will be progressed next year with my new me in the board, which is Nico, who is sitting somewhere in this room, maybe. Yes, there. Contact Nico about this when it's appropriate. Yes, starting points for the new projects. As said, AYYE has needs and has identified needs for new facilities and renovations of old ones, and there has been plenty of vision work done for OPCE previously. So we can also utilize those and those ideas when going forward with our new facilities. One maybe big thing that is the situation at the moment is that AYYE is quite remote to its members, and one solution would be open spaces and building to build ownership of AYYE and make the members feel like AYYE is theirs and something to associate AYYE to. And maybe the biggest point of this is that it's members' money. Talking about facilities, they are quite big sums, so always keep in mind that it's the members' money and we have to cater to the members' needs. And here's a nice little graph from the member survey. It's in Finnish, unfortunately, but the top facility needs listed there are a communal space, like playing games during school, so basically a member space, and then a big event venue. Those are the two top priorities from the member survey. Yes, here are the needs. I will maybe not go through these so deeply. Maybe the top ones raised are the ones with the dotted lines, because they are the ones that are not currently in AYYE's facility portfolio, so the member spaces and guest housing. Then the ones on the left, the darker ones, are maybe the more urgent ones and the more the ones that people have given more input towards prioritizing, and then there's the other needs are going in like prioritization order. But yeah, quite a lot of needs, and here are also some reasonings. These slides are found in the Repco folder if you want to take a closer look and comment more. Current resources. 8 million was reserved for OPCE. Now that OPCE is gone, we have no use for this 8 million except other facilities. Yeah, it was like a Repco decision in 2021 to allocate this to communal facilities, and this is the safe sum to use, so to say. Of course, it's always a value choice of, as I previously stated, it's the members' money, so it's not like to be spent anywhere and however we want. It's still like a big sum of money, but so to say, that's the safe amount to use for these kind of projects at the moment. Of course, with Vieno, the Helsinki selling portfolio will bring a lot more money in, which is a good thing, of course, for the student union. We also own some real estate, not including the housing real estate, but like the Aattelinen and the ideological real estate. Yes, thank you. And the baseline is that all options in this slideshow, not proposal, all options in this slideshow can be afforded. That's maybe the main takeaway here. So what's on the table? New winds blowing. Okay, the title is in Finnish, but it's renovating Keto as an office. Of course, affordable. Making an office out of an office is not that expensive, and it's quite this safe option. And as mentioned, the current office is wasting a lot of square meters to inefficient space usage, so this could be improved quite a lot by just renovating it. Also, the employees have a quite big desire for more functional workspaces, since the current ones are maybe iterated over years and not like planned as a whole. So that has resulted in some let's say, interesting space choices there. More space for volunteers, small member space, possible, all functions in one place, a big selling point. And what I have gathered is that there is no like deep desire to sell Keto, and selling real estate on a spot like that is questionable on its own. So owning is better than renting or not owning, so to say. Weaknesses, the member space would probably be quite small, and the amount of services is also not that attractive. So would this be enough to create this approachable space for members to visit? A question to ask. Need for event facilities not met. The current plan is to build a expensive and impractical event venue in the basement of a housing building in Otakaari, which sounds to me quite expensive because of the noise cancelling, noise layering, and also the use times would probably not be that great in a housing building. Yeah, and this approach has come from the office and not members, so that's also something to think about. A new turn, renting spaces from Dipoli. This is something that we have talked a bit about with the university, since the management is moving to the candidate center or the undergraduate center next year. So quite a fast timetable and not a lot of time to think, but it's an option on the table. There's slightly more space than on the Keto, like let's say 1.5 times more space, so would be enough for probably decent member spaces. Good condition, good contract, no extra cost from upkeep, own doors, so 24-hour access. But then the biggest minus is that this big premises are really expensive to rent, and this is like so expensive that it's a little difficult to explain what's the value added compared to Keto if we would just move there and pay this huge sum of money every year for rent. What's the added value for the members? So not maybe as cool as it is, and how cool as a building as Dipoli is, this might not be the best option on its own. But yeah, two options. We are kind of at a crossroads here. Neither is perfect, neither is like this is our option. What could be then our option? Let's get creative and present to you Keto as a student union building and the office somewhere nearby in the neighbor. This is a new idea that has come on the table this fall. Basically, from these options and needs, this sounds to me, at least, quite a practical solution. Let me explain. So the starting point is that we need the member spaces, we need the open spaces, we need the services for the members, we need a building to gather all Aalto students together. So this would be it. There's an event venue possibly in the upstairs, since our office is not taking a space. There's quite high ceiling heights there. There would be space for volunteer rooms, project spaces, and I have to say that we visited KTH, which is Kungliga Tekniska Högskolan in Stockholm, and Chalmers this year with the board, and those places have quite functional student union buildings, which were quite a heavy inspiration. So if you are interested in student union buildings, I suggest that you take a look at these. And yeah, this would be a great way to unify the union spirit and create a building that connects everybody. What about the offices? Nearby, office relocation is quite easy compared to communal spaces. Our community has quite specific needs and need for custom spaces, but an office is an office. It can be function in basically any sort of office space. Yeah, and we are moving or surveying the area. We are negotiating with university about, for example, learning center Aalto and Dipoli. What if our office would be moved there? And trying to keep the physical distance as small as possible. So yes, these are the options on the table as like maybe the most concrete and most boiled down way possible. So preparing to spend about 5 million euros for renovations in the next few years. Smökki Rantsu needs renovations, Keto needs renovation, then the daycare could be renovated. This is of course a discussion for next year, as said. So this sums are something that at least some of it has to be spent, and I think that we all agree that not letting our properties rot away is a good thing. And then how to solve the other issues. So the new facilities, we have a couple options. So this student union building, we could offer or rent our offices from university, or we could also build our own offices in the Otakari housing ground floors, for example. And then we can also renovate Keto to be the office that it is, and try to fit as much member space as possible there to try to create this same effect. And these are the two options that we are going forward with at the moment. Yeah, there's also some Finnish mixed in, of course, but gathering opinions. These conversations have been opened in board, Takiva, Repco groups, hopefully employees, financial board, and now we are under the representative council, but we are actually in the representative council opening the discussion. Steps forward, a consultant, as mentioned in the office news, has been hired to further investigate the current space needs and the adaptability of Keto. What could be done with that building? What needs does the office have? And what else could be added on top of it? Negotiations with the university on the lease of premises continue, as mentioned. And then next year there will be probably some more concrete proposals, for example, from the consultant and from the university and from the board and from Nico sitting there to discuss and decide on. Okay, I think these were my slides. Well, yeah, I have this last last thing. If all else fails, but we still have money, we can also renovate Keto and build our own little OPKE in chemistry. OPKE comeback, so to say. Quite a far-fetched one, but it's still possible. The zoning plan is still in place. That it's a student hub there, so it might be a possibility for the long future too, to build our own smaller OPKE for the whole community. And yes, now it's maybe time for discussion. If you have any comments and so on.
Yeah, thank you, Veti. I'll open the floor for discussion. Any questions, comments? Kim.
Has how much consideration been put into using the large spaces in Dipoli for event venues in like in conjunction with the plan of renting office space from Dipoli, and if yes, how's that go with the current restaurant and such in Dipoli?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch the question. What's good suomeksi?
Yeah, I think I caught what you were asking for. The problem with Dipoli spaces is that they are, at least for now, operated by a restaurant company. So having any kind of events in Dipoli costs quite much, because you have to have like security guards from them. You have to have like all the things you are eating and drinking bought from the restaurant company there, and also like it is valued in a way that maybe some of the things we do in Smökki we could not do in Dipoli, for example. Let's say it like that. But this is something that we have been thinking, and it is something that the university, like despite of these discussions, the university would like more events to be in Dipoli, and we are looking forward to having it like more affordable for these other parties as well. We as the AYYE have an agreement on some of our meetings with them, but if anyone else than we is trying to have something in there in Dipoli, it's not cheap at the moment.
First Kylrengas and then Luova.
Linneka Kylderirengas. I had some ideas for the Smökki naming when it's in the temporary space. Could be called Smökki, Smökkish, fake Smökki, or quotation marks Smökki. But some serious points is that although the members do say they want places to loiter and hang around, KY has a famous space called Kyrner. It's in this building, and it has been empty for as long as I've been studying here. Nobody ever goes there, so keep that in mind, that these sort of hangout spaces for everyone, when it's a space for everyone, nobody actually goes there. It's a possible risk, but nevertheless, I think the idea is nice. Also on event spaces, somehow KY has in the last few years found 2 separate venues to rent in the community from Acre, and they've been quite good for us. They're very, very expensive, but that's also a possibility for the space issue. Can't remember what the other thing was, but yes, those were some comments I had. Thanks.
Thank you. Luova.
I'll start with adding another suggestion for the name, Smökki at Home. But I wanted to inquire about the possibilities for the long-term plan. There was option 1.1 and 1.2, and the 1.1 was about renting the office spaces from nearby university building. And I was wondering if there's like, has there been any discussion to maybe have like a, well, not short term, but like medium term plan to use the 1.1 and then maybe in the like 10 years switch to the second one, since I don't know how much is the rent estimates from university, but of course when you don't own the actual spaces, you occur costs, fixed costs for the rent. But of course, that would probably mean that we would have less new student houses in the new project. So that, I don't know, this was just some ideas about the thing.
Yes, good idea, and we will definitely look into that. Like, if we are proceeding further with, for example, some renting plan from the university, some specific spaces, then we also have to look at the term on how long we want to rent it for.
All right, vihreämpi aalto, sorry. Seems I'm a bit tired already.
Härkönen, vihreämpi aalto. First of all, I'd like to just say that I think some sort of guest housing or temporary housing is very much needed on campus. It's very difficult to invite anyone over here. That's my experience. And also, I kind of had the same question as before. Maybe let me word it just a little bit differently. Has there been any calculations on what, like, I suppose owning our own office space is of course cheaper than renting it, but have you calculated like what sort of is the return on investment-ish thing? Like how long do we have to rent spaces before it starts becoming more expensive than owning them?
Well, if you look at Keto, now that we have it, it has been built and it has been paid. It is quite cost efficient to be there. If we were to build a new building, it would of course cost quite much money to build, but then like the annual use of money would be smaller because you would only have to pay for the maintenance fees. And renting spaces, for example, there was this Dipoli option looking at the costs depending on how many square meters we would get. It would be in the range of 200,000 to 400,000 a year for the rent. So it is quite much. However, if we would say that it would cost 5 million euros to build a new office building, then like we can get, if we leave it that to the investments, we can get quite good return for that money and use it to subsidize the rent cost. So it's not like super clear, and we have not like made that like we have not gone that far as of yet. And for example, in that option 1.2, which was asked, if we were to go with that, it would in any case probably mean that we would have a temporary office at rented spaces for some time before these new buildings would even be built. It will take. We are now starting with the Otakari 15, and before we get to the 11 or 19, it will probably take like 4 years, 5 years to begin building them even in the first place. So long-term plans, and yes, we have to calculate the costs, but this is more in the because there is also this that this planning of having this party space, the new smökki in Otakari 11, it would cost in around 2.5 million euros is the estimate at this point. So not having to build that would then save quite much money if we can put the party space to somewhere which is like existing building and, for example, upstairs of Keto. So quite many moving parts, and yes, now we are like working towards to having a more clear picture and being able to show you maybe some drawings of some options with how to go forward.
All right, thank you. Now vapaasti vasemmalla, and then Kytörengas again, and then vihreämpi Aalto.
Erdem vapaasti vasemmalla. I don't know how feasible is this, but as an idea, I would like to see if we land on the idea of renovating Keto to be a student union building instead of outsourcing. It would be democratic and wise to channelize our own potential. We have amazing architectures here. Art students. I'm a culture, I can't say much about those fancy buildings, but yeah, I think we should include and they can contribute significantly this project. Thank you.
Blinnika Kylderirengas, or Binika, if you saw me last Friday, sorry. Anyway, back to the point of the shared spaces for everyone that nobody uses. I did see the suggestion there that said pub. If there would be a pub in there, I would be visiting regularly. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's a very good idea. And also number 2 was that this is the whole Dipoli situation is the engineer's fault. If they never screwed up that whole situation back in the 60s, we wouldn't be where we are right now. So thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. I have no further comments on this. Thanks.
Thank you for added humor. Let's take vihreämpi Aalto, and then I'll close the discussion on the matter.
Valkama vihreämpi Aalto. Not really a question, just a comment, but based on this presentation and my years as active in Otaniemi, I feel like renovating Keto to be a student union building is exactly what we need right now. It's like so many committees and active groups and associations and guilds and their actives, they're like so restricted sometimes by different access issues or resource issues regarding spaces, especially 24/7 spaces. And I think 1.1 and 1.2 are really good ideas. And I think it is just a matter of branding to get people to use that space. But I don't think it's going to be necessarily a really big issue to get the usage rates high. Right now, Keto is like spilling out of like there is not enough resources and it's not really working, and then people can't get into Aalto spaces 24/7 or their guild rooms, and there's not enough places for everybody. So just my opinion that a student union building there would be like a perfect solution for some of these issues.
Thank you. That'll be all for discussion. If you want to contribute to this, I suggest applying to a committee next year for REPCO. All right. I'll close the discussion on the matter now. Thank you, Veeti. And closing topic 10, moving on to topic 11. At this point, I suggest that everybody gets up for a moment and stretches for a little bit. We'll be having all three topics, as mentioned previously, in the order of the agenda, all in consecutive order from Fanny, and then we'll have a short break and continue with the meeting after that. All right. Yeah. Is Fanny ready?
So we are ready with Fanny, yes.
All right. Moving on with the meeting.
Joo.
All right, so opening topic 11, filling vacancies in the Directorate of the Fund of Promotion of Teekari Operations, more commonly known as TTER. Section 5 of the TTER fund rules states that the Directorate consists of the chair and 6 other members. Of the other members, 3 must be selected from among the persons nominated by the Guild of the Round Tower who have completed an academic higher education degree at Aalto University or one of its predecessors. The Directorate is appointed by AYY's Representative Council. The chair is elected annually. The members of the Directorate are elected for 2 calendar years at a time. The first 3 persons to resign are selected by drawing lots. The same person must not be elected more than 3 times in succession by the Directorate. TTER Directorate received 3 applicants within the application period, one of which was for the position of chair. The chair of the Directorate, Juvonen, and allowance specialist Saikku reviewed the applications and interviewed the applicants. Juvonen and Saikku prepared a proposal for the board, which was addressed by the board in its morning session on 21st of November. Without further ado, go ahead, Fanny.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Great to see you here. Such a big number in the last REPCO meeting of the year. And sorry I came a bit late. Best of regards from Jukka Mäkelä. I was visiting his last reception, so I came from there. And he really, every time I have seen Jukka, he's like, the students are the best, and of course we are, but he's such a big-hearted guy for the students, so just wanted to say hi from him as well. But moving on to the topic, so in the last REPCO of the year, there's this kind of normal protocol to decide few bodies for the next year, and the fund or directorate of that is one of them, and now this is the first topic of the bodies we decide. So, well, Sakke was already saying this out loud pretty much from the rules and what it says, but the directorate consists of ex-people, and it's decided by REPCO every year, and now we are showing you the names who we suggest to you, and then hopefully you will decide those. But this is just repeating Sakke, so I don't use that much time on that. Current situation is that this composition, so So here you can see the names, and there are a few terms ending this year. Some of them are continuing for further, and you can see in the, like, if the person is AYY representative or PTK, so Pyörän tornin kilta representatives. But this is the current situation, and it says for 2025, new positions, new chair or chair from existing members, plus new member. And application time was open a couple weeks back in October and November. Then current chair Anu and Saiku, who is responsible for DDR stuff, interviewed these people. Then the topic was presented to the board a couple weeks back, and now we are here in the RepCo. And applications, so there were three applications, one for the chair and two for the member. And here you can see the suggestion. So Rebecca Adriansen has applied for the chair position, and Rebecca is currently the board member there, but she applied for the chair position, and as mentioned, either we would need to recruit new chair, or if somebody from the current members want to move on to be the chair, that's okay, and then we recruit a new board member. And well, that happened that Rebecca was applied to the chair, and she's moving from board member to the chair. And from the two applicants, Saiko and Anu interviewed and decided to suggest Eero Virmo-Virta as a new board member for the DDR. Yeah. So that's basically it. Quite like December RepCo matters. Do you have any questions?
Opening the floor for discussion. Any questions regarding the proposal for the directorate? I judge that there are no comments or questions. Closing the floor from discussion. All right. Closing point number 11 and moving on to topic number 18. The deviation from the Honorary Council regulation. Of note, we will be making a motion and decision on the previous topic, on the next two topics, once the rules have been officially decided upon later in the meeting. But yeah, go ahead. Next, with regards to the deviation from the Honorary Council regulation, in accordance with the regulation, the Section 6 terms of office of the Honorary Council and its members states that the terms of office for the Honorary Council is 3 years, and at the end of the term, members are invited. Sorry, technical point. Apologies, there was some miscommunication here. Fanny will present all the new formulations for different boards now, and then we'll be deciding on them in the previously mentioned order. All right.
Yeah. So there is 3 different bodies that we are deciding today. First was the DDR board, then next up is Finance Board, and then third one is Honorary Council. So, well, the order here is, I think, due to the agenda, but these are somewhat like just nominating people, so we figured out to combine. Here's a long text, but this is the Finance Board regulation, what we have been discussing here. In quite many meetings already from the springtime, and briefly we have a Finance Board, and it used to be a body that had a decision-making power, but we here have been discussing, and you have made the decision that it will not be anymore a decision-making body. Additionally, the amount of members in Finance Board is increasing by, or there's a chance to increase the member amount of Finance Board by 2 specialist members, asiantuntijajäsen, and so on. But long text from the rules, and Antti will once more tell you about these rules, so I'm not focusing too much on those. But here are bolded the people or the persons that are, or we as a board suggest to you to approve as a Finance Board 2025. And Finance Board members have 2-year terms. Some of them have been, or the asiantuntijajäsen, what is asiantuntija? Yeah, expert members have been longer, and they are just renewing their terms. For example, Lyppo Suominen and Jari or Jani Koskinen, I think it might be even Jani, but yeah. And then new additions are Annukka Paloheimo and Matti Kuronen to the Finance Board, and from the expert members, Petri Valkama has informed that he wants to, as his term is coming to an end, he doesn't want to continue anymore, so he's leaving from the Finance Board. So these are the 4 expert members we are suggesting you to confirm to the Finance Board, and additionally there's 4 student representatives in the Finance Board, 2 chosen every year, one as resident member or resident representative, and one as just student representative. And new ones for this are Joona Lipponen as student representative from the residents' point of view, and then Ida Parkkinen as student representative. And Henri Ailinbietis and Sampo Sainio's terms are coming to an end, so they are leaving the Finance Board. So this is just the crew for that. Yeah, maybe now questions or comments about this.
Once again, questions and comments. This is a bit irregular, but I'll open the floor again.
Maybe I can add that there was 2 applicants from the student representatives, and then I think it was these 2 that now are there, but Joona got the resident representative position, so, or applied for that as well. So there was no more applicants for student representatives this year.
Thanks for the context. Does Antti still have something to add?
A couple of words of our new expert members, if you will. Annukka Paloheimo is a doctor of economics, and she has been working for tens of years in investment and finances, running almost 30 years her own company, Scandinavian Finance Research, SFR, before selling it and then retiring, but retirement did not suit her, so she returned to do research on finances and investment I'll have to check the new place. Just look at it, but forgot it already. But she is like the leading, one of the leading experts in investments, which is good because Lippo and Eva might not continue for that long anymore in the finance board, and they are our experts in investments at the moment. And Matti is an old chair of TKY and our expert in building, because we are now starting the new building projects. He's been working for decades in the building industry and has served, for example, was it 8 years as our representative in the HOAS board. And both of them were eager and ready when called to service to come and help us. So most excellent expert members. Also most excellent student representatives as well.
Alrighty. I judge that there are no questions or comments regarding this issue, so I'll close the floor for discussion. And moving on to you presenting also the proposal for the Honorary Council.
Yes, and well, yeah. Third body that we are wishing that you will decide today is Honorary Council. So AYYE has this body that consists of different kind of, mostly alumni from Aalto or the predecessors of Aalto, people that are working in different companies or the government and so on, and have been doing like quite big things in general. And this consists of 12 people in total, and they are named for 3-year term at a time. And here are some rules for this. So yeah, student union has an honorary council, the duty of which to give advice and support in matters regarding the student union. And maybe honorary council meets twice a year normally, and meets with the board, and Nosake has been this year in the meetings too, and Antti of course, and we discuss some current issues and try to get some input from these persons that have long-term experience in business, etc. So at least personally I can say that these have been very, very good meetings and very fruitful discussions. So this is in general quite important body for the student union. But how we nominate people? So RepCo decides the completion of honorary council based on proposal of the board. And it says also in connection with the completion, I don't know how to say that, but yeah, the board shall consult the continuity committee, financial committee, and the honorary council itself. No, moving on. As mentioned, one term is 3 years, and at the end of the term, members shall be invited as provided. Section 7, yeah, that was on the previous slide. Also, it states in the regulation that maximum of half of the members of the honorary council shall change at the time, and at the end of the council's term of office, a member who has acted in the honorary council continuously for 3 years term may no longer continue as a member of the honorary council. And well, that's crucial currently. So after the second meeting of this year, we started to look at, hey, by the way, how long people have been here, and we decided that there are 5 out of 12. It's not half, but it's still quite a big amount of the group that has this three-year term coming to an end. And well, we were like, okay, we are a bit running out of time, so we are now bringing you a suggestion that we have consulted the current members of honorary council whether they would these 5 persons would like to continue with 1 additional year. So not changing the rules in total, but getting this kind of 1 extra year, as there are people, I'll show you in the next slide, that have been very active and interested in this honorary council work in general. And some of them said that they are willing to continue 1 extra year. Few of them were like, well, actually, I think it's my time to move on, which is also fine. And so, but this is the, so to say, beef today. Or beef steak. Well, how do you say pihvi? Päänpihvi. That we would ask from you to give 1 additional year to some of the people, so that we won't lose like this many people from the honorary council. So here is the current kokoonpano, like how it is looking currently. Sorry, I'm losing the words. But top 5 here: Jukka Mäkelä, Risto Sielsmaa, Tiina Alahto, Kasko Sarapaldov, Ilkka Kivimäki are coming to end with 3-year terms. And some of these have been very, very, very active. And for example, as I mentioned, Jukka Mäkelä earlier, he's very willing to continue 1 extra year if needed. And additionally, we are also having here some people that are in this kind of end of the term, so we are also approving those. And if we move on, this is the proposal for 2025. So Jukka Mäkelä, Risto Silasmaa and Ilkka Kivimäki would get this 1 extra year if you give us the permission. And then these people are continuing. Saara Hyrkkö and Mika Antonen are continuing to the 2nd term, but Linda Liukas, Tiina Alahto, Kasko Sarapaldov and Eero Miettinen are wishing to step down and move on. Most of them were saying that they feel that it's time to give space for new peeps, and well, hopefully, and well, Sakke and Antti have a work to do in the beginning of the year to start to recruit new peeps for sure for this, but so that this group wouldn't be like very, very small, we are now asking for you to get one extra year. So yeah, basically this is it. Yes.
All right, opening the floor for discussion once again. Antti, go ahead.
Just as one more thing, Linda Liukas, as you can see, she's dropping out in the middle of her term, but that is because she's living in France now, so it's pretty difficult for her to attend our meetings.
Thank you for the context. Any questions? Kytörengas.
Palmqvist, Kyltäri-Rengas. I would just like to say that, in my opinion, the best attribute that we could look for in the candidates that are in the honorary council is their willingness to actually participate in the meetings. So granting them with additional years, really good if they have indicated that they are willing to do the work for the community. That is way more important than recruiting some new fresh blood with big shoes, and then they don't have the time or willingness to participate 100%.
I can confirm that Jukka, Risto and Ilkka have been the most among the most active within these 2.5 years I've been here.
And also maybe additionally, as there are now 4 people moving on from honorary council, of course, there's room for new ones. So if you come up with some good names, please propose. So we can, or Sakke and Antti can contact them. But some names are always welcome. And it can be anything. It can be a politician, it can be from the business, it can be from the government, whatever. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for good comments, Palmqvist. I judge that there are no other comments or questions regarding this topic, so I will close the discussion. To make things clear, as this was a little bit unusual, I will next be reopening topic 11 for decision on the motion. Then I will be opening topic 16 as a conditional motion, depending on our acceptance of the second acceptance of the amendments to our constitution. And then I will be opening topics 18 and 19 consecutively for decisions. I'll give a short moment for everybody to consider them, but I will be representing each topic shortly so that we know what we're talking about. And I apologize for how irregular this is. This is not how this thing should be going. Without further ado, I reopen topic 11, filling vacancies in the Directorate of the Fund for Promotion of Decorative Operations. And I motion that the Representative Council decides to appoint new members to replace the resigning members of the Directorate of TTEA Fund, to appoint the chair of the Directorate, and to establish the current composition in accordance with Appendix 11, which you can see here. I judge that the Representative Council is in favor. Päättäneen päätetty. Closing topic 11, moving on to topic 16. Filling vacancies in the Finance Board. As this was moments ago presented by Fanny, I'll shortly recount. And there's already been a first round of the Constitution in last Representative Council meeting, 10 out of 2024. And in this meeting, the changes to the rules were presented, and at that point there were no objections to the rules. Now I motion that the Representative Council apologies. I motion that the Representative Council appoints the Finance Board as presented for the term 2025, conditional on the second approval of the Constitution in topic number 15. I judge that the Representative Council is in favor. Päättäneen päätetty. Closing topic 16, moving on to topic 18. Deviation from the Honorary Council regulation. In accordance with the Honorary Council regulation, section 6, terms of office of the Honorary Council and its members, the terms of office of the Honorary Council is 3 years, at the end of which members are invited as provided in section 7. At the end of the Honorary Council term of office, the maximum of half of the members of the Honorary Council will change. And at the end of the Honorary Council's term of office, a member who has acted in Honorary Council continuously for 3 terms may no longer continue as a member of the Honorary Council. As the Honorary Council currently consists of 12 members, for 5 of these members, the 3rd-year term will end by the end of this year. Some of them have expressed their willingness, as is presented there, to continue serving on the Honorary Council, and they are among its most active members. The board proposes this one-time exemption from term limit to reduce the turnover within the Honorary Council. Additionally, the board proposes that the Honorary Council regulation be reviewed as part of the bylaw review process in 2025. As Fanny has just presented them, I propose that we do not have a discussion on the topic. I see no opposition. And now motion that the Representative Council grants the board the right to deviate from the entries in section 6 of the Honorary Council regulation as a one-time exemption. I judge that the Repco is in favor. Päättäneen päätty. Closing topic 18, moving on to topic 19. Filling the vacancies in the Honorary Council. And here we have the proposal. Proposal for the new Honorary Council with this exemption or deviation being accepted. And I propose that we do not have a discussion on the topic. I judge that the Repco is in favor. And I motion that the Representative Council decides to fill the vacancies in the Honorary Council. Päättäneen päätetty. Closing topic 19 and moving on to a short recess in our meeting. I propose the recess starts at 19:46 and we reconvene at 1956. No. Hmm? Reconvening from the break at the time 1959. Opening topic 12, the plan of action for 2025. The plan of action is a document guiding AYYE's annual operations, and the Representative Council held preliminary debates on the plan of action in its meetings 8, 9, and 10 in 2024. Antti will be presenting it to us. Without further ado, Antti, go ahead.
Thank you. In the last meeting, there were only a small amount of changes from the last, and this now is the same case. So we have changes in only 2 slides from what you saw last time, and if it's okay for you, I will first pick the changes up, and then if there is willingness to go this through more thoroughly, we can do it after that. So the changes end up into this development of the community sector slide. Not so much to change what we were after, more like to make it more uniform with the other plans. So, like what we tried to say the last time, now we are saying it more clearly. Just to gain the overall understanding what all of the things we are doing at the community sector and the scope of said operations and whether the scope of the operations corresponds to our numerous guidelines and the current needs. And in addition to the mapping of the operations, we investigate whether our resources meets the need of the operations, and if not, we can influence the resources or the scope of operations and or the guidelines guiding the operations. So this is not, this is like what we were after with the last time. Now we are just saying it more clearly. And some of the projects, like the smaller level of lines, have jumped to this side project slide. So there, the last three have came from the old community slide, updating the association kind, reform of the distribution principles of association grants, and update of the voluntary policy has been some of the things we found out we would like at least to do next year. So those two were the changes that the board in its last weeks after the last REPCO, the changes they made. So now the question is, all of the other stuff is the same. In how much detail you want me to go the other stuff through once more, or do you remember or have read the other stuff in a way that we can move forward?
I judge there aren't questions. Well, let's officially open the floor for discussion. But any questions? I judge there are none. Closing the floor and moving on with the topic.
Yeah, about the action plan, if there is no need to go through the rest of the slides or no need to discuss or ask questions, I don't use your time to show any more slides that you need to see. So if more questions on the other topics or on some, please now is time for it, but otherwise I think we can move on to the budget.
All right, with these notes, thank you, Antti, for presenting this. I motion that the Representative Council approves AYYE's plan of action for 2025. Päätetty. Closing topic 12, moving on to topic 13, budget for 2025. As many of you probably know, the budget is a document guiding AYYE's annual operations. Representative Council held a preliminary debate on the budget. Well, not official preliminary debate, but we had discussions in the 8th, 9th, and 10th meetings of the REPCO in 2024. Usually the Chief of Financial Operations is responsible for drafting the budget. However, since the CFO is about to change, the executive director has acted as deputy for the CFO. And currently the final form of the budget is now to be presented. Antti, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So first, about the process. Once again, my deepest apologies for not having these preliminary numbers with you in the last meeting. I hope you have time to look at them now between meetings once you finally got them to your hands. And to make this discussion easier, I have picked up the major changes that have happened in the numbers. I'll go them through first, and then we can look at like the other numbers with more detail. Most notable changes compared to this year and earlier years, we estimate, and it is not only an estimate, we already know, looking at the numbers from this year, there has been more revenue from the membership fee than we expected, which means that our number of members is increasing, and we estimate it to increase in such that the revenue would increase with about 57,000 euros. We will break 18,000 members in the next count, this next autumn. The biggest cost savings have been found from the rental facilities, eli kertavuokrattavista tiloista, because the cleaning costs have come way down thanks to a new contract with new cleaning company. So as far as we understood, the level or like the quality of the cleaning has been at least on the same level in the facilities, and the price is like tens of thousands of euros less when you like count it over the whole year. And still we saved only like the 14,000 euros from that, because at the same time the budget for small renovations and upgrades has tripled from 10,000 to 30,000. The same, we have used about 30,000 this year as well. So it was pretty clear that the one-time rental facilities, eli kertavuokratut tilat, was something that you wanted to invest and which the board wanted to invest more. So now it has been, even at the same time when we're able to find cost savings, we have also implemented quite large increase on possibility to make the spaces better. Raise in personnel costs are mostly due to general increase in salaries in this like työehtosopimusten yleiskorotukset, which are work contracts which happen every year. We cannot do anything about it. Might be 2-3 more %. Let's see. We have counted with I think 3 if I don't remember incorrectly. And in addition to that, there has been 2 changes. The board fees have been raised by 75 euros per board member per month, except not for the chair of the board, and that ends up being about 8,000 euros. And the English translator Johanna, she was made full-time employee already in 23, but the budget for 24 was out of date, so that 25,000 increase is not exactly like increase in spending. It is just fixing the budget to show the real-time situation. Better health coverage for the board. It is not exactly the same than the health coverage for the employees, but it's on the same level. It is a bit different technical implementation of the same thing, but its estimated cost is about 5,000 euros. We have this method we use to count, which is as complicated as 500 euros per person. It has been just about okay in earlier years, so we use the same for the board. It could be more, it could be less, depending on whether people are more or less sick. It's the same than with the employees. One-time increase to strategy money allocation to cover facilities action plan project, eli että niihin tilojen kehittämiseen vielä pystytään enemmän panostamaan, so that we can do even more like planning with the spaces, and for example the project that Veeti, like the slides that Veeti showed up, that we can then make like the actual plans to show you it costs money, and this extra allocation has been reserved for that. In community, the volunteers have received about 12,000 more, both to fight inflation and to we understand that with the updated ecological guidelines transferring to plant-based and fair trade products more heavily means that some of the prices will go up most likely, and to compensate that we have granted them more money. And this was compensated, so it doesn't, when you look at the numbers, it does not look like that much of an increase. That is because some part of the Espoo deal or the Espoo grant that has gone to administration will now go to volunteers, and we will do in the administration without it. IT costs are up about 9,000 euros because of the IT support outsourcing. However, we have 0 civil servants in IT, which in the long run saves about 20,000 euros yearly or annually. And in finances, the 10,000 euros, which affects my side or the organization side of the budget. And that's to compensate to optimistic budget in 2024. And the last thing I will ask ex-CFO Monika, I received the answer today, and there is quite some increase. Was it 90,000 euros? 0 euros of that will affect the organization budget. So this thing we are looking at here, it will go to the housing side, which means that in the end it will be end up paid by the residents, not by the members. They overlap, but not directly. And why the increase? It is mostly because of IT system costs. Developing Domo because this changed regulation. We have to develop it and also to make it better for the residents, and also this Fatman system, which handles, as far as I understood it, the billing of the rents, and it handles service management and many things in that. When those systems have been made better, they will then save work hours and then save costs from that side. And not only that, but make the experience better for those applying to our houses and living already them, both in the IT system side, like when you go to Domo and make your application or look at your stuff in Domo, and then also when you make this the repair request, it will automatically go to the right repair company, and we will get the reports automatically, and all of this will happen just faster, be more precise, and save this working time. But in this transition phase, it costs money. So that was the explanation I received from Monika. It has been quite clear to me that the willingness to know more about this kind of housing side budgeting, and you have showed interest to it, and I promise that with the new CFO coming, I can provide you more on this next year. But yeah, those were the largest changes. Then maybe we have all of the numbers here, which are not very informative. So maybe instead of going through them line by line, I maybe open the floor to questions on specific items or specific slides, which you can find from Aalto inside, AYYE inside.
All right, well, let's open the floor for discussion. And if you have any questions regarding the budget, now's the time. Thank you for the thorough presentation so far. Vihreämpi Aalto.
Vihreämpi Aalto Järvinen. The question about the IT cost and outsourcing that, how has it affected the quality of your IT support?
I think there has been like two sides of the coin. For what I have heard, those who have requested help have received it timely and effectively. And as far as I know, it has worked pretty well. And it has saved quite much time from Teemu, our IT specialist, because even though we had the civil servant persons, it more often than not, people were just walking in at their office and talking to all of them. And so most of the problems were then like problems of all of the IT staff. So it has saved time from Teemu, and that's why that's much we can use it then to, let's say, to projects that require more of an expertise than IT support does.
All right, thanks.
Tiihonen.
Okay, Tiihonen, Alon Kokoomus. Just to make clear, in last chair meeting we discussed about finance and housing functions, the last slide in the presentation. And if I remember right, Perttu asked about the significant increase in those internal charges from housing sector. Am I right? And you say that there might be some kind of false notation in the Excel code. Could you please explain that correction which has been made? Thanks.
Yeah, it was fixed. The problem now, this is correct. The problem, these like 25 numbers were correct all the time. The problem was in this number, or was it this either of these numbers right here? It was not following the correct formula, which counted wrong numbers, and it made this like was it like 60% or something, which was definitely incorrect. So now it has been fixed to be correct.
I judge that there are no further questions regarding the budget. And at this time, I'll close discussion on the topic. Moving on to coming to the decision, I motion that the Representative Council approves the budget of AYYE for 2025. Päättäneen päättyy. Closing topic 13, moving on to topic 14, membership fee. In the academic year 2024-2025, the AYYE's membership fee for the whole academic year was 65 euros for bachelor and master's level students and 45 euros for doctoral students. The Executive Director proposes that in accordance with the budget, the membership fee remains at the same level for the academic year 2025 to 2026. Thus, the membership fee for one academic year for bachelor and master's level students would be for one academic term, yes, indeed, 32 euros for autumn and 33 euros for spring. For doctoral students, the membership fee would be 22 euros for autumn and 23 euros for spring. In accordance with Section 38 of the Student Union's Constitution, the membership fees are sent to the Aalto President for confirmation after the Representative Council decision. My understanding is that President has approved these changes.
In this case, it will be sent for the President to be accepted after this meeting.
Right.
It is in the next point that we have the decision already.
All right, thank you for that context. They will be sent further forward. Is there any questions or concerns regarding this topic? Pretty self-explanatory, keeping costs the same. Opening the floor for discussion. Kylterengas.
Linnika Kylterengas, I just wanted to point out that one of our members left at 1946, and just checking that it was noted, that's all. Sorry, I forgot to mention.
Right. What's the name of the representative? All right, thank you. I judge there are no other comments actually relating to the topic, so I'll close discussion and motion that the Representative Council decides the membership fee for the academic year 2025 to 2026 as €65 for bachelor and master's level students and €45 for doctoral students. Päättäneen päätetty. Closing topic 14, moving on to topic number 15, amendments to the regulations concerning the Finance Board. In REPCO meeting 9 out of 2024, the Representative Council was presented with amendments to the regulations concerning the Finance Board, and amendments to the administrative and economic regulations were approved at the meeting 10 out of 2024. At the same meeting, amendments to the Constitution were approved for the first time, and now the amendments to the Constitution are brought to the second discussion as required by the Constitution. In the appendix, you can see that the amendments to the Constitution concern sections 4, 13, 33, and 34. For the administrative and economic regulation, the amendments concern 6, 10, and 11. In addition, the final section of each regulation is updated with the new approval date. Any obvious typos are also corrected without altering the content of the regulations. I motion that the Council approves the amendments for a second time to sections 4, 13, 33, and 34 of AYYE's Constitution. If there is any desire for discussion, I would like that takes place now. Antti, maybe some context. And in this case, once this is approved, also the conditional approval of filling the vacancies financial board will also finally be approved through this.
Yeah, I'm trying to show it. Technique, please work. Well, it doesn't want to. But I have also the Ilkka Niemelä, the headmaster or rector of the Aalto University, has signed the document saying that he approves with the rules as long as you accept them the second time in this meeting. So the new rules will come into force immediately after you have decided to accept them for the second time.
All right, with this context, I shall open the floor for discussion. I judge there are no comments or questions and close the discussion. With this, I motion that the Representative Council approves for the second time the amendments made to section 4, 13, 33, and 34 of AYYE's Constitution, and with this also further approves the conditional motion previously in topic 16 of the meeting. Päättäneen päätetty. Closing topic number 15, moving on to topic number 17, Otakaari 15 project funding. In previous meeting 10 out of 2024, the REPCO decided to advance the Otakaari 15 project to construction phase in accordance with the decision of the Representative Council in meeting 8 out of 2022. The Representative Council must address project funding for each housing project separately. After the meeting, previous meeting, AYYE has received a favorable decision for Otakaari 15 interest subsidy loan, that is the so-called ARA loan, allowing project funding to be brought to the Representative Council for approval. The Finance Board discussed the matter in its meeting on 3rd of December. Antti will shortly present the topic, and go ahead, please.
Thank you. Yes, as said, we would have to accept the project funding as a different point in REPCO. And now we have the acceptance from the ARA that a good project, you can get 95% of the project money as the ARA loan. Most excellent, go forward and build a new building. And that's what we are doing here. I have a new motion. Technically, this just to make it a bit more clear on like the funding part. It's a two-part thing. First, this funding on like the basic project funding based on the ARA loan is exactly the thing we have been talking all the time. So 95% will be funded by ARA and 5% by us, and we have paid the 5% already in the preliminary fees and the design fees. So when you look at the end of the project, we have already paid the part we are going to pay, and the rest will be our loan that will be then in the end paid back in the rents of the people living there. However, I would like you to approve a bit more, and the bit more is that the two earlier building projects we have made have been on rental plots, vuokratonteille, but now we are buying the plots, which is in a way better that it will then be ours to do as we please, which is great, but we have to buy the plots before we can start building, and we get the ARA loan rules are such that when 10% of the building is ready, you get 10% of the loan. So now that we have to first buy the plots, we have to wait for some time before we can take in the ARA loan money. So in the meanwhile, we would ask for your permission to temporarily either take separate loan or use the investment funds temporarily to make sure that we have enough liquid cash to continue with the project. We are talking about a couple of millions for, at maximum, a couple of years. Sounds like a lot of money, but when you compare it to the size of the whole project and the size of investment funds, it is not that much. It is funny now, like talking with in the last slide there was like 1,000 euros there and 2,000 there, and now this is like a couple of millions. But yeah, this is money we can certainly get back. It is just to make sure that we have enough liquid cash at the start of the project when we need it to make sure that the building goes forward without a hitch.
All right, thank you for the explanations. I'll open the floor for discussions and questions now. I judge there are no questions or comments. Closing discussion. Thank you, Antti. I motion that the Representative Council approves the project funding of the Kaara 15 and authorizes AYYE office to take any necessary measures and make decisions required to implement the project funding. Corrections to what is in the agenda. A bit of a different formulation, being that the motion is that the Representative Council decides to authorize AYYE's office to raise a separate loan if necessary, or to use investment funds temporarily according to what is more appropriate for the project in order to secure the funding of the Kaara 15 project. So this is slightly more exact wording than what is on the agenda that was posted in the meeting invite. And my proposal is that we move on with this particular motion. Päätetty. Closing topic 17. Moving on to topic number 20, which was approved to the agenda at the start of the meeting. That being choosing the auditing firm for year 2025. Section 12 of the rules of Aalto University Student Union stipulates that in the duties of the Representative Council is that the Representative Council elects the student union's auditing firm. In addition, Section 40 of the rule stipulates that an auditing firm approved by the Finland Chamber of Commerce shall be elected for each financial year to audit the financial accounting, financial statements, and administration of the student union. This is, to my understanding, remain the same, but Antti can explain further.
I promised you 30 seconds. KPMG, fine. Let's continue with them.
Opening the floor for discussion. Questions, comments? Seems that there's approval. Closing the discussion. I motion that the Representative Council decide to elect KPMG as the student union's auditing firm for 2025. Päättäneen päätetty. Closing topic 20, moving on to topic 21, other business. As notes before opening discussion, Repco merch will be coming around at the start of the year. We'll be setting up a form for those interested and releasing it in an email. This will be giving also further information on that when that is coming up. And to start with, after the meeting, there will be a short moment to celebrate the last meeting of the year and heading out for Christmas break at Keto. So if you want to have a glass of sparkling wine or an alcohol-free version, feel free to join us for some 15-20 minutes after this, or longer if you feel like it. Now I'll open the floor for discussion. Järvinen.
Yes, kuten ehkä jotkut täällä tietää, niin tämä taitaa olla mun edariuran viimeinen kokous, eli valmistuminen valitettavasti nyt taas kovella kolkuttelee. Haluaisinkin siis kiittää kaikkia edustajiston jäseniä, puheenjohtajaa, varapuheenjohtajistoa, sihteeriä ja muuta toimiston väkeä tästä huikeasta vuodesta ja näistä huikeista vuosista. Ja kuten meillä vanhoilla jäärillä on tapana kertoa, niin pitää jakaa vähän viisauksia ja aiheita, mitä pohtia sitten tulevaisuudessa. Yksi, mihin mä toivoisin, että ihmiset kiinnittäisivät tulevaisuudessa huomioon, on se, että meidän rakenteet tässä yhteisössä on aika sekavia, ja kun täällä kasvaa ihmismäärät, niin se sekavuus vaan lisääntyy. Ja tällä hetkellä nämä rakenteet aiheuttaa meidän yhteisössä tosi paljon yksinäisyyttä ja eriarvoisuutta. Niin sanotut salakerhot, hallitusvalinnat, vapaaehtoisvalinnat, kaikki noin. Joku aina hylätään niistä. Muistakaa silloin kiinnittää niihin hylättyihinkin ihmisiin huomiota, ei pelkästään niihin, jotka tulee valituiksi. Toinen teema, mitä mä haluaisin koskettaa, on se rohkeus. Rohkeus tehdä asioita, rohkeus päättää vaikeita asioita, rohkeus olla eri mieltä asioista. Siihen tämä koko paikan toiminta perustuu, että ollaan eri mieltä asioista. Ja siitä ylioppilasliiga muistetaan. Ei se ole ne pienet päätökset, mitä tehdään päivittäin, vaan ne isot. Rakennetaan dipoli, tehdään opke ja ne. Kaikki tällaiset päätökset on se perusta, millä kaikki sitten tulee katsoa meitä. Ja siihen pitää olla rohkea. Mutta että voi olla rohkea, pitää myös olla läpinäkyvyyttä. Mä toivoisin, että meidän toiminta voisi olla läpinäkyvää, että me uskalletaan olla rohkeita ja seisoo suoralla sedällä meidän päätöksen takana. Aina se ei toteudu, mutta toivottavasti siinä yritetään parhaamme. Kiitos kaikille ja tsemppiä teille opintoihin. Toivottavasti tekin joskus valmistutte. Kiitos.
Kiitos, Oskari. Thank you, Oskari. Anyone else have something that they want to bring up? Antti?
From my own behalf, I also want to thank first the board for the whole year. Now your time is almost up. We still have one meeting next week. But after that, it is some freedom for you. Once more, congrats for the new board. We will start things, was it like 7th of January? So pretty soon. And then last but definitely not least, thank you Repco for this year. I think we have like excellent spirit and forward-looking meetings, and I'm looking forward for the next year working with you. So from me, happy holidays and best of luck for the next year when we will meet again.
Tjykylete.
And I would also like to thank on behalf of the AYYE Board 2024 for close cooperation this year. I really think we had a good time having discussions, having good cooperations, whether that be in this representative council or in the committees. And I would also like to make a personal note of thank you for today's meeting. Thank you for flexibility regarding the language matters and doing this almost whole thing in English. I think that shows that we're capable of making sure that everyone is included in discussion. I think it's super important. So thank you on my behalf too. Wishing you happy holidays and well, please keep in touch. I'm in Seoul next year, and I think it's very important that we do strong cooperation next year as well. But thank you so much.
Liidikka.
Yeah, now it's in English, so I can just fucking say what I want, eh? Been in the Repco for 3 years now. I think this year was the best one yet. Not that it was, the most exciting or anything like that. It's always the most exciting. But I think that the chair of the Repco and the vice chairs and also the board did a really good job presenting information in a timely manner. Sometimes it felt like we were very rushed in decisions in previous years, and whose fault that is exactly, I don't know, but I guess it's a team effort. So teamwork makes the dream work. So yep, thanks for making Repco a little bit nicer and less stressful, and you can make decisions in good conscience, even though nobody supported tabling the last issue, but had to try it once. Thank you, thank you. Don't have to clap for that, but clap for the board.
All right. Thank you for all comments and bringing up all these topics. I think throughout the year, I've refrained from taking you hostage and wasting your time with any personal notes, but maybe as this is my last meeting as Repco chair, that may be allowed for just a moment. My entire time in Otaniemi, I've spent my all active life as in the song, fun and culture sections all throughout, and this 1 year in the more administrative side of AYYE has definitely been interesting and definitely a slippery slope. I expected this to be my last and final role anywhere in active life here in Otaniemi, but things change and you get excited about things that you do, and that's what happened to me, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work as chair next year in the AYYE board. But without anything else, I just want to thank everybody for the year. It's been a blast, and definitely I've been surprised about how easy it's been to manage with all you guys and how cooperative everybody has been with everything. And I think I'm looking really forward to next year and how good it'll be as well with this year's basis. Thank you. But yeah, without further ado, I'll close discussion on the topic and close topic 21 and move on to topic 22, closing of the meeting. And with these words, I'll close the meeting at a time 20:39. Oh.